welcome back to Race Recap. My name is Jackson. Today, we are introducing a new series, the IndyCar series. If you'll remember last video, we talked about the Formula One series, so I thought it was right if we recap the IndyCar season. But first, I have to get everyone caught up on the first 5 races of the season. The first one was the Grand Prix in Alabama. It was 90 laps. A big first lap crash. Joseph Newgarden and the 2 got off into the grass. He spun back on track and was hit by the 26 of Colton Herta and the 28 of Ryan Hunter-Reay. Also involved was the 59 of Max Chilton, who got in the grass and collected the 7 of Felix Rosenqvist, and the 4 of Dalton Kellett spun into the back of Colton Herta. The second caution was when the 48 of Jimmy Johnson spun. And the checkered flags in this race went to Alex Palou, his first career IndyCar win. Great job for him. The top 10 here were Alex Palou, Will Power, Scott Dixon, Pato O'Ward, Sebastian Bourdais, Rinus VeeKay, Graham Rahal, Marcus Ericsson, Alexander Rossi, and Romain Grosjean ran out top 10. A few DNFs in this race. Felix Rosenqvist was out for the accident. So was Colton Herta, Joseph Newgarden, and Ryan Hunter-Reay. The next week, it was the IndyCar at St. Petersburg, 100 laps around the streets. The first caution was when the 48 of Jimmy Johnson missed one of the turns and into the barriers. There was no caution when Alexander Rossi blew a tire after contact with the 15 of Graham Rahal. The second caution was for the 48 of Jimmy Johnson again, who came off one of the turns and got loose and hit hard into the outside wall, but he was able to continue. And the third and final caution was when the 18 of Ed Jones spun and stalled it. And the checkers of this race went to Colton Herta in the 26. The top 10 here were Colton Herta, Joseph Newgarden, Simon Pagenaud, Jack Harvey, Scott Dixon, Takuma Sato, Marcus Ericsson, Will Power, Rinus VeeKay, and Sebastian Bourdais rounded out top 10. Only 2 DNFs in this race. Dalton Kellett had an engine problem, and Max Chilton had hydraulics issues. The next weekend it was a double-header race. The Texas Race 1 and Race number 2. Texas Race 1 was only 212 laps for the IndyCar. The first caution was when the 14 of Sebastian Bourdais backed it in the wall hard in turn 2 after contact with the 2 car of Joseph Newgarden. And the second and final caution was also in turn 2, right where Bourdais hit, but this time it was the 29 of James Hinchcliffe, and he hit hard in the driver's side, ending his day. And the checkered flag from this race went to the 9 of Scott Dixon. The top 10 in Race 1 in Texas: Scott Dixon, Scott McLaughlin, great run for him, Pato O'Ward, Alex Palou, Graham Rahal, Joseph Newgarden, Jack Harvey, Alexander Rossi, Takuma Sato, and Simon Pagenaud ran out top 10. A few DNFs in this race. Colton Herta had brake problems, James Hinchcliffe was out for the accident, and so was Sebastian Bourdais. The next evening, it was race number 2 from Texas. This one was 248 laps. A big first lap crash coming to green. Pietro Fittipaldi in the 51 hit the back of Sebastian Bourdais. Fittipaldi went up and hit the 48 of Tony Kanaan, collecting them both in the outside wall. When Bourdais spun, he was hit in the back hard by the 4 of Dalton Kellett. He also collected Alexander Rossi, who spun up the track. Connor Daly tried to slip in a hole that was not there. It was filled up when Ed Jones was coming down the track, Dalton Kellett was coming up the track, and Connor Daly ended up getting flipped over because he hit both of those cars at the right angle. Fortunately, he was okay when it rolled back over on all 4 wheels when it came back into the grass. The second caution was for debris, and the third and final caution was when the 7 of Felix Rosenqvist lost a right rear tire, the wheel and axle, everything. The axle fell apart and the wheel just flew off in turn number 2. And the checkered flags in this race went to Pato O'Ward. He got his first win in the IndyCar series. The top 10 in race number 2 from Texas were Pato O'Ward, Joseph Newgarden, Graham Rahal, Scott Dixon, Colton Herta, Simon Pagenaud, Alex Palou, Scott McLaughlin, Rinus VeeKay, and Ryan Hunter-Reay round out top 10. Lots of DNFs in this race. Jack Harvey had a wheel bearing issue. James Hinchcliffe had steering problems. Sebastian Bourdais was out for the accident. So was Alexander Rossi, Pietro Fittipaldi, Ed Jones, Dalton Kellett, and Connor Daly. And just last weekend, it was the IndyCar road course, only 85 laps, not much happened in this race. The first and only caution was on lap number 1, turn number 1. Simon Pagenaud made contact with the 20 of Connor Daly, who stalled it in the grass. And the checkered flags in this race went to the 21 of Rinus VeeKay, who got his first career win. I guess this season is all about first-timers. The top 10 here were Rinus VeeKay, Romain Grosjean, great finish for him, Alex Palou, Joseph Newgarden, Graham Rahal, Simon Pagenaud, Alexander Rossi, Scott McLaughlin, Scott Dixon, and Marcus Ericsson rounded out top 10. The only DNF in this race was Connor Daly, who was out for the early accident. Well, that's all for Race Recap. Come join us next week when we recap IndyCar qualifying for the 105th running of the Indy 500.